Hello everybody, Maven here, and unless a D2 YouTuber is a clickbaiter, they will not call something broken unless it is actually broken, or else people will clown on them in the comments. So I'm here to tell you that today's build is actually broken. So I just had to put it in the thumbnail or title or wherever I did put it. It's there for a reason. Today's build is the closest to literal god mode we've had since pre-nerf Lorelei in the classy restoration meta. It's that insane. So we are using the new Strand Titan aspect Banner of War paired along with the Stronghold Exotic Gauntlets. These two mixed together is pretty much god mode. Now in the background gameplay, you may or may not be seeing some Solo Legend Lost Sector gameplay from Sepulchre. However, last night, shortly after I thought about this build, I saw another YouTuber post about this build before I did. So shout outs to Selfu, who used this build to actually do solo Master Lost Sector on Sepulchre, 29 power under. That just goes to show how ridiculous the survivability is on this build. That's pretty much GM level, you know, doing Master 29 under. So yeah, this is definitely a Grandmaster worthy build, and I highly encourage you to go and watch Selfu's video. I will link it down below. Go and check it out because he is madman, and he definitely uses this build a lot better than I do. So we have a lot to talk about with this build, but before we get to it, I just want to thank you all so much for your support on the first two videos of the season that I put out yesterday. The videos did really well, and it really means a lot that you guys enjoyed it. And we're getting so close to hitting 30k subs. If you want to help me get there, it would really mean a lot if you hit that subscribe button. I'm going hard this week. Gonna try to hit 30k by the end of the week, so I hope you stick around. And now let's break down the build. Hope you enjoy. So the Banner of War says that defeating a target with a melee, finisher, or sword will raise a Banner of War that pulses with energy, periodically healing nearby allies and increasing melee and sword damage. Additionally, targets defeated by you or your allies within the banner's radius will increase the speed of its pulses. So the Banner of War can stack up to 4 times, each stack increasing the speed of the pulses. So it's time for some Destiny ASMR. So here's how fast it pulses with one stack. So you can see just how fast it's pulsing at 4 stacks, and each pulse grants you health. So you can see the Banner of War alone is insane for survivability, but then you add Stronghold to the mix. So the Stronghold basically makes you invincible when you're guarding with the sword, and you can pretty much guard with the sword forever. But while you are guarding damage with your sword, you are granted stacks of perfect guard. Now when you finally attack an enemy, based on the amount of perfect guard stacks you have, you gain restoration ×2 for a duration based on the amount of stacks you consumed. And restoration ×2 is incredibly powerful. That's pre-nerf Lorelei, that's Touch of Flame healing grenades, that's Heat Rises plus Phoenix Dive. It is a ridiculous amount of healing. So when you attack an enemy with 100 stacks of perfect guard, you get 16 seconds of restoration ×2, and combine that with the rapid periodic pulses of health from Banner of War ×4, and you pretty much cannot die. It is probably one of the closest things we've had to God mode in Destiny 2 history without glitches. And it's extremely easy to achieve. You're just bot walking around guarding with a sword and then sorting things. You're just playing the game as normal. But it doesn't stop there. We have even more healing because we are using the Lament, which has revved consumption. So damaging a combatant heals the wielder. Yes, it doesn't end so much God mode. Also, it's very ammo efficient because of Tireless Blade, and also the thing just with Banshee's Wail, it just hits like a truck and also has anti-barrier. So it's just such a nice weapon to pair with this build. But the downside is that it does take up an exotic slot. So if you're doing an activity with friends who want you to use Gallarhorn or some other exotic, you can do that because you still have a glaive. So you can easily just swap off Stronghold to something like the Synthoceps, because this actually works with glaives, and that'll allow you to just run whatever other thing that you need to run, you know? So that frees up your exotic slot right there. And if you're wondering, yes, Banner of War does work with glaive melees in addition to normal melees. It says also that your stuff gets bonus damage when you have Banner of War up. So your melees plus your glaive melees get plus 40% damage while Banner of War is active, and swords get plus 10% damage. So our Lament's not getting the biggest buff in the world, but we are pairing this with triple solar surge on our boots. So at all times, our Lament's getting plus 22% damage from this. So then you pair that with our banner and we're getting plus 32% damage with our Lament. And because of this, I am also running a solar glaive. You can use whichever solar glaive you want, but it's nice to have that option. Like if you're running low on heavy, or if you're in a situation where you don't want to waste heavy, you can just switch to a glaive and do Banner of War stuff with your glaive. And you're gonna need some range, so I am using the Supremacy. And on this, I am running Enhanced Lead from Gold and Enhanced Kinetic Tremors. Now, if you didn't see Cool Guy's video on this, I recommend checking it out. When you have Enhanced Kinetic Tremors on the Supremacy, you can actually proc Kinetic Tremors in just 2 shots. It's crazy. One of the best specials in the game right now, in my opinion, that is extremely slept on, and nobody really knows about it, but it's a powerhouse. And I have Enhanced Lead from Gold with the copy of Heavy Ammo Finder on my helmet, so when I get that Finder brick, I'm getting a good chunk of special ammo for my Supremacy. So this is a nice workhorse of a roll right here. I really love it for that ranged option that we need. Now we're going to need a way to make orbs for our solar weapon Surge, so we got Reaper on our class item so that our next kill after putting down a barricade is going to make an As I was saying, the next kill after putting down a barricade is going to make an orb, Solar Siphon, so our Lament or Glaive double kills will make an orb. And then we have one more way on our subclass here because Thread of Wisdom just got a huge buff this season. So you no longer need a precision kill on a suspended target to create an orb. You just gotta defeat a suspended target in general, which is incredibly easy, and it's why we're using Drenger's Lash as well as Shackle Grenades, so we have a bunch of ways to suspend things and just make a free orb for killing a suspended target. So then we pair that with Reaper, get 2 orbs, and pair that with Time Dilation, and we pretty much have that triple Solar Surge up at all times. It is very, very easy to make these orbs. So for the rest of the subclass here, we got Thread of Continuity, so our suspend lasts longer, Thread of Generation to get more grenade energy, and then Thread of Mind so that we get some more barricade energy back for defeating that suspended target. Now moving on to the rest of our mod setup here. We got Bomber on our class item for more grenade energy. On our chest, we just got a bunch of different resist. I feel like melee resist is essential for this. You could run a copy of Loosen Blade if you want to, but I feel like it's kind of unnecessary. On our helmet here, of course, we got that Heavy Ammo Finder, which I don't typically run finders, but when you're running a Lead from Gold weapon, I feel it is essential. I had a little bit of extra energy, so I just threw in a copy of Powerful Friends for the heck of it. On my gloves here, I got Focusing Strike, Impact Induction, and Bolstering Detonation so that my abilities feed into each other's energy so that we can suspend more things. Stat-wise, we're rocking 100 Resilience, 100 Discipline, and Tier 7 Intellect because I felt like the rest of the stats didn't really matter for this build. Now you could invest into Strength over Intellect if you wanted to, but I feel like I'm using my glaive and my sword most of the time anyways, so I felt like these were the only 3 essential stats. But you do want to go for your charge melee when you can, so you can proc Focusing Strike and Impact Induction. So time for the gameplay loop with this build. So when you get into an engagement and you do not have any perks procced at all, you want to start by getting in with your Lament, guarding as you get close to an enemy so that you can just sword them and proc that Banner of War. Once that Banner of War is procced, then you can start going on a spree with your glaive if you feel that you don't need to waste sword ammo. If not, you can just bot walk around with that sword all day long until you run out of ammo. And if you ever run into a long range enemy, just 2-tap them with your Supremacy, proc that Kinetic Tremors, and it should pretty much deal with them. And if you run into a boss tier enemy that is pretty dangerous, you can just block with your sword until you can get enough perfect guard stacks to get some restoration times too, and just wail on them with your sword. And then you can pop your super and then just chill way back with your Supremacy, pacing your Kinetic Tremor shots, and it should be no problem. So there you have it. This, in my prediction, is going to be one of the most broken builds this season. It's going to be pretty hard to beat this. And I feel like people can and will use it in Grandmasters, and people can and will use it to cheese various things. And to be honest, it may get nerfed at some point this season. So have fun with it while you can. Speaking of which, as always, I'll leave a dim loadout link to this build down below in the description and the pinned comment if you would like to give it a try. And if you have any Titan main friends out there, it'd be much appreciated if you shared this video with them. I'm sure they'd find it useful. So with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button and drop a comment because interacting with the video in different types of ways like that really helps it out and helps the algorithm. And if you are new here, consider subscribing. I would love to have you here. And with that, I'll catch you in the next video. See you later.